Greetings once again, fellow Star Trek fans. I hope you're doing well. I hope your week is going by very, very well for you. I've got another little goodie to share with you in regards to Star Trek. And we're going to keep to the original series. And what I'm going to show you today is a little bit different. No, it doesn't have any electronics. It doesn't have any lights. But it is cool, and it is one of the most popular things to come out of Star Trek. And no, unfortunately, it is not alive. We're going to the second season of Star Trek, and we're going to Space Station K7. I am referring to the episode, The Trouble with Tribbles, and I present to you guys a Tribble. Unfortunately, he does not coo or purr or tribulate like real ones do, but it does warn you on the label, please do not feed. Dr. McCoy found out what happened when you feed a hungry Tribble. You get a bunch of little Tribbles that are hungry. Captain Kirk thought you got a fat Tribble, but that wasn't the case. This is from the episode The Trouble with Tribbles. And to give you a little bit of the history, the Enterprise is summoned to Space Station K7, and there was a Priority 1 distress signal sent. So they responded immediately. They were expecting that the station would have been under attack or a natural disaster or something to elicit that kind of signal. Captain Kirk gets there, and there's nothing around the space station. It's completely calm. So he ends up beaming down, and let's see if I can remember his name, the Undersecretary Blas, something like that. I'll put the name up because I can't remember his name right now. But he was protecting what is known as Quattro Triticale, which is a type of grain or a wheat. Now, under the, I think it's the, not the Orion, the space treaty between the Klingons and the Federation. I'll put it up anyway. The under the treaty, there's a planet called Sherman's Planet, and it's claimed by both the Federation and the Klingon Empire. It is decided that whichever organization can make it habitable first, it will be awarded to. So the only kind of grain that will grow from wheat, from Earth, is the Quattro Triticale. So that's the only type of grain that will grow on Sherman's Planet, but what they're trying to do is they're trying to be able to populate it for it to support life. What ends up happening, make a long story short, Cyrano Jones introduces us to the Tribble. And this is one of the most popular creatures on Star Trek. They would come back later in the cartoon series as well. Lieutenant Uhura and Mr. Chekhov beam down to shore leave. And that's where Mr. Cyrano Jones is showing things to the barkeep in exchange for trade, and he shows a Tribble, and Lieutenant Uhura falls in love with it, and he gives it to her. Well, they multiply very fast, and the more they eat, the more they multiply. And this turns out to be a problem for the Enterprise, as they're all over the place and driving Captain Kirk crazy. They infest the space station as well, and it's when Captain Kirk goes to the mess hall on the Enterprise and orders a chicken sandwich and coffee, and what he gets is a plate full and a cup full of Tribbles. And he's not happy about it. Then it dawns on him that the space station has the same kind of storage containers, so they beam down and they find Tribbles. What ends up happening is because a lot of the Tribbles are dead, Captain Kirk wants to know what killed them, and ultimately it's the grain was poisoned in an attempt to thwart the Federation's attempt at making Sherman's Planet inhabitable, giving favor to the Klingons. And because Tribbles do not have favorable reactions to Klingons, it's the only species that they're aggressive towards, it helped finding the Klingon agent. But in the end, the Tribbles saved the day, and Cyrano Jones is sentenced for the next 17 years to clean up all the Tribbles off the space station. Interestingly, you might wonder what happened to all the Tribbles on the Enterprise. After some coaching and getting angry, Captain Kirk finds out that Mr. Scott beamed them into the Klingon battlecruiser. I'm thinking the D7 battlecruiser before it warped out of orbit. So that should have been an interesting find by the Klingons. Anyway, this is the Tribble. This is a Tribble. Please do not feed. Let's see. Keep out of reach of Klingons. That's amusing. Warning, do not block ventilation grill because they like to eat the grain. And this is QMX. Let's see. '14 release, CBS Studios, Star Trek. Trademarks. It doesn't give any information about the Tribbles. But QMX, they did they do fantastic models of the ships, and they did one that I would love to have is the USS Vengeance. They actually did a fantastic, beautiful depiction of the Vengeance. This is for the Loot Crate, and it's exclusively for Loot Crate. This Tribble was bred exclusively for Loot Crate. The color and the package are unique. And that's really everything that is on the package. You have the barcode on the bottom, and you see the top. It's clear, because you don't want the Tribble to be scared. You're not going to lock him in the box. So why don't we go ahead? We'll open it up. Tough to do with one hand. We'll open them up and we'll take them out. Now they are cute, and this is the closest thing to a real Tribble. One of them did have electronics, because if you remember on the show when Captain Kirk is walking on the bridge, one of them was actually walking on its own on the hand railing. Now I don't know if it was strings or what it was doing to make it move, but it could have had internal mechanisms. I'm not sure. And I don't remember or recall of ever having heard of the Tribbles being sold off that were actually from the show screen use, because that would be really, really amazing to have. He does have, let's see, a little tag. Tribble. TREKKIES Tribble from Star Trek. Loot Crate exclusive. Now I'm not familiar with Loot Crate, but what I'll do is I'll do a little bit of research and I'll put it up on the screen to let you guys know what exactly Loot Crate is. And you can see on the back, QMX. Manufactured by Quantum Mechanics Incorporated. And it shows the address, made in China, 2014. So, this cute little guy has become very popular in Star Trek. My camera's not focusing. There we go. And the episode itself is one of the more popular episodes of Star Trek, The Trouble with Tribbles. The fight with the Klingons in the bar is always amusing. Mr. Scott ultimately throws the first punch. It is known that the Klingons are trying to antagonize the Enterprise crew and they're trying to provoke a fight. So what ends up happening is they insult the captain. Tin-plated cod with delusions of godhood, well, that doesn't get them going. Mr. Chekhov is ready to fight, but Mr. Peace Treaty between the Federation and the Klingon Empire, and whoever could get Sherman's planet populated and sustaining life first would be awarded the planet. And ultimately, it was the Federation. well, we don't know. We don't really know what happens to Sherman's planet, but it is known that the grain is poisoned, so they don't use that grain. So I'm thinking they got another shipment and they sent it out to Sherman's planet. And that might be interesting research to see what happens to Sherman's planet. But this is a Tribble, and I wanted to share the little Tribble with you guys. It is pretty cute. Simple. It'd be really, really nice if it would make that sound, the cooing sound. But then you'd have to put batteries in them. It might be a little hard to find out where the battery door would be. But this is the Tribble from QMX. I'm not sure if they make... I'm sure they must make Tribbles, right, guys? I'll do a little bit of research and see if there are any Tribbles that actually make the sound or move. But this one does not have any electronics at all, and I thought it'd be a really interesting quick little video to show you guys a little Tribble. And remember, he loves you. You pet him, he'll be very nice to you, unless you're a Klingon. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video very soon.